Second time on the pod, dude. You're on a list of heavy hitters. J Cav has maybe been on a couple episodes. Alley Cat.
What's Rob been on too?
Maybe Rob has been on 2, one of which maybe never got recorded correctly.
I remember one in the van, and then
no, he has been on 2.
He sat here,
and that's maybe it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
Rob
you're in the top 5 with some heavy hitters.
You know what Rob said to me? Oh, where was it? I saw him and Aiden. I think it was at MX23 one day.
Mm-hmm.
He saw me. He's like, Kenny C. He's like, let's keep it on 2, all right? The first thing he said to me all day, I was like, okay, Rob.
Speaking of keeping it on 2, Aiden had a race at...
I was there.
You were?
I was there.
Did he eat shiitakes?
I knew it immediately, dude.
I thought it was him, you mean?
Yeah. So me and my friend Adam went and watched. It was at Southwick. It was NESC, and second lap, or it might have been opening lap.
Yeah.
Red flag. And I didn't see the only Yamaha on the line coming around. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
And
Rob said he was going fast for that first lap at least.
Yeah.
And it was first moto.
Although he was,
lap too,
I think he fell.
Yeah, he fell in the first turn, was already kind of like catching back up type of thing. Off the finish line?
I didn't see it.
Is that
I couldn't
think what
see,
Rob
but
was explaining?
I saw, I think, Robbie riding his bike down, and I saw all the ambulances, and like I said, it was a red flag.
Freaking Aiden.
I know.
He's riding really well, but he just has these wipeouts out of nowhere. And if Rob explained it correctly, he made it sound like he got squirrely going up the face of the finish line. And for those of you listening, like the finish line at Southwick, if it's still the same, it's like kind of a sketchy like step down almost, but almost like a roller.
No, it's a
step
lip.
down.
It's a lip now. It's
a proper jump, but it gets it's squirrely because it's Southwick.
It's hard to get. It's just whooped out that corner before.
Yeah. So picture slingshotting that corner on a 450 and then somehow ejecting himself like on his way up the jump.
I wonder if he did something like what Chad did at the Catapult.
That's kind of what I pictured in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swinging it, like breaking loose, coming out of the corner, probably even, and then just continuing this type of deal, probably getting heavy on front. I bet you it's exactly that.
I crashed in that corner before the finish line in my last race. Because
that's a hard corner.
I did a race after I...
Inside or outside? Oh, inside.
Inside, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that inside, it's easy to fall inside of the bike.
Yeah. And, dude, NESC, even C-Class, I mean, I'm slow, but even C-Class is hard, dude.
They rip, especially at Southwick. New England people just ride Southwick fast.
I love that track.
Yeah, I do too. I miss it. I used to hate it. At one period in my life, I absolutely hated it. And then I learned to love just how difficult it was, and then like embrace the fact that like it's so unique, and especially at an NESC race, it used to. I don't know if it's the same nowadays, but like, I mean, the corners were like this.
They're 5 feet rollers.
Is it still
now.
like that? Where it's like, what the? Where do I sit
It's like
down?
you're riding Supercross whoops almost.
Yeah, just
not that I've ever. Or for me, it's on the start.
What's your battery life? Have we talked about this yet? At Southwick, you can make it a full moto. No
So you want to know something funny? Actually, I got to Southwick,
forgot to charge it,
forgot the phone. So
just flying blind.
Yeah, and I think the automatic charging setting is slow. So
literally, no idea.
I did practice and just left it plugged into my first moto.
And hoped for the best.
Unplugged it, raced my first moto, got off, plugged it right in until my second moto, and it felt fine. I know what mode I want.
It didn't appear to go into a limp mode of any sort.
No, felt fine. I mean, I went into limp mode, but
yeah,
the bike was fine.
Yeah, for those of you listening, the Stark, when it hits 20%, will start to
and the phone
pretty
if you
noticeably
have the
kill
phone,
power.
It turns red.
Yeah, so it's obvious if you have the
on
phone, but Kenny C18 just likes to run no phone.
That's how we do it.
Sometimes not even bring it.
That's how we do it.
Yeah,
it's shattered anyway.
Speaking of not bringing the phone, I'm gonna have you leave with 2 sets of those handlebars to test.
Can I say the brand? Because I know. I guessed it. Jackson.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess so, because they sent me free bars.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Jackson texted me and he was like, "We're pairing with the handlebar brand," and I was like, "Is it Phoenix?" And he was like, "Yeah." For some reason I knew because they followed me on Instagram like a couple months ago, which was random.
It seems like a cool brand, and the bars seem nice as far as I can tell. They sent 2 different bends, so at first I was like, "Well, we can't put them on a." The Allie and I's
raking it in.
Sub in. I was like, "Oh, you can't put it on the Stark because you need the screen." And then I was like, "Well, Kenny C18 doesn't run the screen anyways." So that's the plan. We could at least try one if we have time to try both. awesome, but then they don't come with bar grips probably. So how
That's
do we?
fine. I'm gonna go buy some tomorrow. I think I have a
So what
set.
I'm gonna do, are you gonna go to a dealership or something?
Yeah,
tomorrow?
I have a KTM dealership. I could just go.
Okay, I'll give you a few bucks
All right.
because I want to give you money for gas driving here anyways,
That's
just as a thank you. I'll give you a few bucks that way you can get some grips. So that, and I'll just give you and leave you both sets of those bars if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll grip them both.
Because I won't use them.
All right. Yeah, I'll change them halfway through then.
The plan is if I like one of those bends, then we're gonna create like a custom Moto Academy bar, bar pad, the whole thing. It'll be like a collaboration Moto Academy bar. So it'll be sick. And they seem willing to do that, which is cool. So yeah, hopefully we like one of the bar bends.
Yeah, that's what Jackson was telling me. He was.
And I guess if we don't, we could still have them create a complete different bend.
Yeah.
I just want a bar that like goes this way and then goes this way.
Yeah.
So you can ride with triangle grip.
Just
right
the opposite way. Just start riding like
that would work.
You just roll them all the way forward too.
Yeah, just like this, like you're riding a bobber.
Yeah, this actually works out perfectly because so when I crashed, obviously my bars were like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
kind of like
still like that.
Well, I got new ones.
Okay.
So motorsport.com had obviously no 827s.
Speaking partners, we're partnering with motorsport.com also. Did you know that?
Giving it away out here. Sold out obviously because everybody wants them because you preach them, and obviously everybody.
They're still
they're sold out. Well, at least when I bought them like a couple months ago.
I'm gonna say that's all me.
It probably is.
Well, Phoenix, the reason, one of the reasons we're working with them is apparently they told Jackson like something about they've been getting asked the question of what handlebar bend can I get that will allow me to move the levers in the most? Yeah. And they were getting asked that question a lot to the point where they finally asked one of the customers like, where are you getting this from? And they said Moto Academy, and they're like, oh my gosh, all these people are looking for bars to get their levers more in.
Yeah.
How funny is that?
Yeah, that works perfectly because, like I said, those were sold out, and I went to buy those, and my dad just ordered them on his computer, and he texted me the next day. He's like, hey, I ordered them, but I got the next closest number because they were sold out of 827s, and I was like, I don't really think that's how it works. So now I have these freestyle bars.
Oh yeah, because the next closest number could be a completely different bend,
right? My bars are like they feel like freestyle bars.
Oh great, so it
works perfectly.
Yeah, good. Well, let's hope these aren't freestyle bars.
Yeah,
or you'll have 3 sets of
I'm a
freestyle
lanky
bars.
guy, so I guess tall bars would work a little bit.
But have you ridden with the 827 style bend yet? It's a perfect sweep. I wish that I had a pair. Maybe somebody at class that day will have a set and we can like look. I don't know. Because with a pair of bars not on a bike,
we could compare it to mine.
It's hard for me to tell like what they look like. Yeah. You know? It's not until they're on the bike that I can kind of eye them up and see. Are
they fat bars or crossbars?
I think crossbars.
That's cool.
I haven't even taken them on the bike.
I haven't. There's also a box in your driveway I was going to bring in, but
I think that's getting returned.
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah.
There's a Stasic sent a bike from Mill Dogs.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Shout out.
But I didn't unpackage it. I keep getting all these cool things, and I'm just like, I don't have time to open the packages, so I'll just leave them. And Jackson's like, "Did you get this yet? Did you get this yet?" I'm like, "It's somewhere in the garage. I think I saw a box. Whoops."
Do you want to get, dude? I'm thinking about that first.
I think so. Let's dive into this because we have to keep this at 1 hour on the dot. We're only 10 minutes in, but this will rip quick. So,
good intro.
Shout out Ethan.
Shout out Ethan. That dude is the coolest dude out there.
Ethan's great.
Yeah.
And
shout out.
Do you like our content lately?
Yeah, he films really cool. It looks
nice, doesn't it?
Like, I can't think of the word, but aesthetic. Like,
yeah. It's like a vibe, and it's also, I feel like he's using an ND filter on the camera itself, which I think gives him more leeway to like mess with shutter speed or colors, and then he uses Adobe Premiere, and he has like I don't know if he has a custom. No, I think he's custom color grading it. He's not just like tossing them. I don't know what he's doing. But anyways, it's making each clip feel like Moto Academy.
Yeah, and I like that he throws them up to you too. Like he was like that one clip where he said, "Oh hey AJ, what was it? It was you crashing or something." Oh, it was the sprinkler head. He was like, "You see anything interesting about that sprinkler head?" And you were like, "No, just looks like a regular sprinkler head." And cuts.
Did that
to
video
the,
come out?
Yeah, that was like a reel on Instagram. I saw.
Was it?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I remember shooting that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just pulled that out of nowhere.
That
He
was
just
funny.
recognized the corner, and
That was funny.
yeah, he's good.
I like that he, like I said, throws them up to you and talks to you too.
He's got a good vision for it, which is nice. Him and I have like really good conversations.
Mhm.
Kind of how cameraman Cam and I used to, like really talking into the future and piecing things together. That's important. Like
Mhm.
having an employee that can do that.
Yeah.
So shout out Ethan. He put together some of these topics. And they might sound like we're jumping all over the place. We're going to start with a couple of like top 3 type of questions. Then we'll dive into some #podcast questions. And then he must have done an IG poll. It's funny how much goes on and I don't see it.
Yeah, I saw it today because I'm bored at work. So I'm just shamelessly scrolling.
It's amazing how I literally went cold turkey, just 0 social media, and I've just stuck to it.
I know.
It's nice. But I literally, like, I know nothing about what's going on. And you thought I lived in my own world before?
It's funny because I'll tag you in the Moto Academy and some stuff, and you'll like it or post a comment, and I'll just laugh to myself like, that's not him.
But in the Moto Academy, it's me.
Right.
So that's the cool part. If you guys want actual interaction with me, get in the Moto Academy, because you could send me a message. You can post coaching wanted. You can do all that cool stuff. Okay, so first topic, and I'm going to put you in the hot seat and let you answer first.
All right.
And then I'll go second.
Let's do it.
What are and don't feel like this has to be the right answer. It could just be your
Right, it's
answer.
an opinion.
What are the best things to eat? Best top 3 things to eat during a race day or a day of riding?
Usually for race day, I wake up
Okay.
super early and I'm too lazy to make anything. And my girlfriend's in my ear like, can we get Dunkin'? So shameless bacon, egg, and cheese.
From Dunkin'?
Yeah.
Shout
Bacon,
out.
egg, and cheese. Sometimes a muffin.
Okay. No munchkins or donuts?
No, not the sugar side because I'll feel sick.
Okay.
I feel like on race day, I try to keep my stomach fairly empty.
Mhm.
Like I'll have a burger between motos, maybe a couple chips, but
Is it because on race day you feel like you have a lack of appetite?
yeah, especially actually I guess it's harder to eat in the heat. I've noticed.
That's true.
Like this year when I did a couple of NESC races back to back, and it was hot those couple of weekends, and I didn't eat anything between the 2 motos. I think 2 of the 3 weekends I did.
So maybe less nerves, more heat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start with some Dunkin' Donuts, and then you're going into what? Chips?
Burger. We got burger.
Burger.
So my parents would usually come up and cook.
Okay, at least
Cook
they're
some
cooking
burgers.
it themselves. Maybe
Cook
that's
some
helpful.
burgers.
What kind of burgers are we working with?
Just I don't know, whatever
Standard?
whatever they bring up. Yeah,
Okay. What
the
type
ones
of-
they cook for you.
what type
when
of
we go to
bread?
the track? Probably what's the Wonder Bread, whatever you get from the
Yeah, sure.
the store. You know,
Kind of see a team. We got to level up your race day.
9 to
diet a little
5,
bit.
9
And
to
how
5 bread.
How do you feel? How do you feel on race day?
I feel like
Fine.
I just feel tired. Honestly,
I'd
I
imagine.
felt
that.
great this
Okay.
season before I got hurt. I feel like,
But
the
you get
sitting on
tired at the
couch-
end of races.
Not until this last one. Like when I was racing these couple rounds, like I said, in a row, and we were riding,
Mhm.
I felt like I could ride forever.
Yeah, and I remember you mentioning that.
And
Like when you're out there.
I raced like I was battling people to the end. Like this dude Nate that I race, I was battling him to the last lap. And I remember going over the finish line at Southwick and looking at him and being like, not even having a clue who won. And we were just laughing
like a photo finish deal?
yeah, battling to the end.
No
With
way.
yeah.
How fun is that?
It's so fun, especially when like
Man.
I've
For
never
what place? Not that matters. Do
I
you
think I
remember?
got 4th that
And you
race
guys
at
just
Southwick
duked it out the whole
overall.
time?
I think I got 3rd in that second race. I think I went 4-3 for 4th. But
That's so cool. I miss that.
yeah,
Like a clean battle too, where you guys were
Yeah,
just like
it was great,
back and
'cause
forth type of deal.
the thing racing at Southwick is that it's New England and you know most of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in my class, like we were the last moto of the day. So we were 22nd moto at Southwick
Dang.
at NESC. So, you know, we're going 2 miles an hour. We're just
Yeah,
whoever
that's so
can
fun.
hold
Like,
on the longest.
Surviving, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're racing it's like you're racing the track, but next to each other.
Literally.
It's like straight rhythm where you're just like you're racing the track next to each other. That is sort of what Southwick feels like sometimes.
Especially that big sweeping corner in the back.
Yeah.
When you come around that little hump there.
and then left forever.
the thing with the Stark is that I can just hold the Stark wide open there and not have to worry about clutch modulation over like the rollers. I can kind of just.
And you're paddle tiring it, right?
I've had that paddle tire on for 2 months.
Sick, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to riding a 508 with it.
Yeah, but maybe this time of year. Oh no, it's been dry. It might be dry.
Yeah.
Are you gonna ruin it?
Probably. I'm too lazy to change it. Maybe I'll change it over the weekend. We'll see. I have a brand new.
Southwick would be so fun. That thing just got a rip.
I think the first time I rode it on a track was at Southwick. Because I bought him.
So
I bought a
good.
34 and a 14 for my birthday.
Anybody else riding him? Are you the only one in your class?
A Stark?
Yeah.
No. It's all 450s.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And you can get the start on a 450, right?
Yeah. Like I said, before I got hurt, I got a bunch of starts.
Can you put it in any mode that you want?
Yeah, they never check my bike. And what's funny is they tell me you have to walk your bike to the gate. So I see everybody pushing their bike with it off. And I got it in crawl mode or just on one, just like walking it with one hand, just low key driving it with the throttle. No effort at all.
Oh, it's just, man. At Southwick, I'd have that thing in a high mode too.
I have it. I think 67.
You do?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Maybe
yeah,
68.
I was going to say for me in the 65 to 75, even 75 is nuts, but Southwick, in some situations, why not? Like you just kind of want more. Oh my God. And a paddle tire, I want to try it.
It's fun. The first couple races, I didn't do a paddle tire because I didn't have one for that bike.
Mm-hmm.
So I pulled 3 hole shots at Southwick. No. 2 hole shots at Southwick with no paddle tire on the Stark.
Dirt start or cement?
It's off the sand.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh man. You could fall asleep on the gate and still get the whole shot.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Dude, that
unless
bike,
does it just dig itself a hole or does it go?
Sometimes it digs. Like this last time I got really sideways off the gate.
Yeah.
This last race. So I was the first moto. And the second moto, I was out front. And then, some dude came right in front of me.
That first turn is scary.
In the second moto. No. Like before you drop down, it gets super whooped out there. And I had no clue. I went to the inside line and someone fell down right in front of me. So I couldn't really see. And I'm getting roosted. And it's, it's pandemonium or whatever that word is.
Good word. That's the right word.
Yeah.
And
I put my front wheel right in a hole that's like 3.5 feet deep.
Yeah.
And heart rate spike right there. And I can't go.
Southwick first turn, second straightaway, sketchy.
Yeah.
Because then you also have to jump that roller thing together. You have to drop down before it. When it's pandemonium.
You've seen that video of Deegan
at
Southwick this year?
Sick.
I don't even have to say it. That roller that we're talking about?
Yeah.
I saw that
Deegan's
live.
had a lot of good highlight reel clips from this year.
He's wild.
He is wild.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Who would beat at Southwick, Deegan or Jet on 450s?
Jet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
At Southwick?
Yeah.
Did
Deegan win Southwick this year?
Okay, all right. Then let's say Ironman then. Somewhere where they're even. Like, or maybe Dilla, just to bring it to hometown.
Yeah, I pick Jet every time now, but again, if you had asked me even last year, like if Deegan's season would have looked anything like what it did this year, I would have said no. He's come so far in 1 year. It's nuts. So give him another year. It's going to be, we're coming into it. That's one of the questions actually that we could segue into and then come back to the eating question. He asked, what's the prime era of motocross? Did I say motocross again?
Dirt bikes?
Do I say motocross every time instead of motocross?
I don't think it matters.
You don't recognize? I mean, motocross is not what it is. It's motocross.
Yeah, that's true.
MOTO.
I guess.
But I think I'm saying motor every time.
I don't know. I don't think.
What's the prime era of MX/SX? And he said 90s, 2000s, 2010s. I feel like we're kind of coming back into a sick era.
I was going to say I'm biased,
Doesn't
but
it feel like?
Right now, dude. Because think about it. You have Prado coming over here.
Mm-hmm.
You have Kaida Wolf coming over here.
Really?
Yeah. He's in California right now. There's videos of him throwing oppos at Fox Raceway over that big box.
No
step
way.
up. Yeah.
Is he doing Supercross this coming year?
He said he's going to have a go have a go on a supercross track or however the
Moto Academy needs to open a gosh darn facility. You know why? Because all of these people are. That's all it took was who came last year? Prado.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna race the full season. You know on what? I don't know. I mean, it's a rumor, but he's gonna
Ducati Triumph.
Kawasaki.
Oh yeah, because somebody, Cincerillo, I heard somewhere he made a comment of like him taking him out and then taking his ride.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's funny. That. Oh, you just had a class with AC.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, he did awesome. He did a class with us in like 2019, maybe.
I remember that.
And at the time, I remember him being like, I could not believe how good he was as a guest instructor. And so I expected that coming into this one. He kills it. He's so humble too, and like his conversations with just anyone and everyone, which that should be the standard with any human being, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
And Adam is great. The only thing that would have leveled that class up is if he had his gear on and was riding and demonstrating.
Yeah.
I feel like that adds a whole nother cool factor.
I feel like if you get him in a couple of years, you could get him to do that.
But the cool thing is he's very interested in doing a lot more. So, cool. He's perfect for it.
You have to bring Jeff to a New England class because
you said
Jeff Walker.
Oh yeah, we will.
Because I've been watching Jeff Walker since like 2018, but before I rode a motocross track. He was like kind of my first re-entry since I was a little kid into motocross. Like
finding who you found on YouTube, followed his stuff.
Yeah, he was the longest running.
Yeah, another guest instructor that we just had, also killed it. Also great with people.
Yeah.
Cool technique and good style on the bike. Speaks extremely well, just articulation wise. And it was funny because we get there, like when you show up at class, the morning feels kind of hectic because as soon as I pull in and open the door of the car, I've got to be turned on.
It's a line, I'm sure.
Everybody's talking to me.
Yeah.
Like that's why I try to get to class not at 9 a.m. I try to get there at like 9:28, 9:30, because if I got there at 9, it's an extra 30 minutes of just complete swamped with everyone, which I love. It's great. But what it does is when I get there and I have to have a briefing with Jeff of just like, okay, this is what we're going to do this morning, it can get screwed up.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get like a proper briefing in with him. And I forgot to mention that once we did our attack position talk, it was going to be just us splitting up and him taking a group on his own. And so when I told him he was going to go on his own, he was like, really? Just very nervous to do so.
Yeah.
And killed it.
Yeah.
No problem. Took a group. We probably had 45 riders at that class total. So he took a group of 20 to 23. Kept them organized, handled it. And he'll be somebody, we signed a deal with him for, I think, 3 or 4 classes. And that's cool. What we're going to do with guest instructors is like sign them to deals so they can get guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, that's
right?
really
so,
cool.
Okay, you do 4 classes, you get paid X amount.
Yeah, Jeff would be so cool.
So you have guaranteed income for the year. All you got to do is show up.
Yeah. And ride your dirt bike. Like, how hard is
that? And he geared up and rode, which was cool.
He kind of rides like Hayden a little bit.
He's got cool
with
style.
The hang off kind of.
Yeah. He's got cool style. I would love to teach him how to ride Supercross because he tried to do it one year and got himself hurt, right?
Yes, I seen the whoops. Yeah.
And back to we're jumping all over, but back to the conversation of Euro guys coming here, they would really benefit from having a place to go to where they could learn all the proper skill sets, because depending on who you ride for, you're going to get tossed into a situation where if you end up like at Star, you're pounding out laps and doing motos with fast guys. It's great. But you might not learn how to hit the whoops.
Right. It's a clock in and clock out accountability.
Yeah, or at Baker's Factory. And I've heard this firsthand from people that are thrown into these situations. I won't name names, but somebody at Baker's Factory, somebody at Star. And it's like, you're going to get in good shape. You're going to be able to sprint and do all the motos, and that's not an issue. But the young guys or the people learning it in the first place need to learn how to hit whoops. Nice.
Try not to swallow right in the
On-offs. People don't know how to do on-offs the right way. Dragon's back. God forbid they bring the Dragon's backs back.
Yeah.
People don't know how to do those.
You get a lot of Justin Barshes.
Proper 3-5-3s and like knowing how to bounce off of a 3-5-3, which is similar to like the bike angle that you would use on an on-off. If you know what you're doing. Most people that don't would like slap it back tire first. There's so many little specific things. Casing a jump front tire first. Maybe the MXGP guys are used to gnarly outdoors where they're just lofting to flats and landing back tire first.
Like in rollers too.
Yes, right, jumping into rollers, like all the gnarly MXGP stuff. And then when you get to Supercross, remembering that you kill yourself if you land like this.
Yeah. Have you ever ridden any of those MXGP tracks?
No, I would suck. Although it'd be fun to like go there to Lommel and spend a week.
That's what I was thinking.
And just ride it each day, because you'd probably feel like an absolute beginner D rider the first day.
Yeah.
Second day, maybe like a mid-pack C rider.
How close do you think that is to Southwick?
I think not even close.
You think it's way harder?
I think it's 10 times, 15 times harder.
Yeah. That sounds really
That's
fun.
just based on watching videos. I've never been there.
Yeah. It looks like it's like...
Doesn't it look like endlessly deep?
That's what I was going to say. It looks like it's a dune. It looks like some guy just cut the weeds out of the dunes.
Nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah.
And it will, and I feel like I also have seen it where it forms like definitive ruts in sections too.
Yeah.
Mill Dogs must be up.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out. It's her birthday soon, right?
Yeah. 1.
Yeah.
What the F?
That's crazy.
1 year.
That's the closest I've ever heard you swearing. Like on anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Do you swear? I don't.
Shamelessly too much.
You do?
At work, yeah. But I work on a shop floor.
You never sworn? Sweared? Sworded?
Yeah.
You never sworded around me.
I feel like I'm good at shutting it off.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm bad at shutting it off though too.
So. I pretty much in any situation will go to a made up replacement word.
Yeah.
Like the habit's formed, you know. Like
yeah, I kind of do that now.
Even if I'm like I jumped in the cold plunge today.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do
Yell fudge.
I want to do that.
You know, like a dork.
I would scream.
I have one upstairs.
Really bad.
We've got one now.
I would scream.
It's at 58 degrees. Do you want to try 58 degree?
That's not that bad.
You can put on one of my bathing suits and you can hop in.
That's not that bad.
We'll do it when we're done.
All right.
You'll do it.
I'll try. I bet you I don't even go.
The water at Cotton Hollow, I didn't bring my rubber ducky thermometer, but I would guess that it's got to be in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting there. It's freaking
Is
no
58
joke.
Cold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's colder than it sounds.
Yeah. Okay. I figured that by
so like
reaction.
A normal pool that you'd get in that'd be like, oh, this is cold, would be like maybe high 70s. Right.
Oh yeah.
So
that's not fun.
So high 50s it feels like it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
Like it feels like there might as well be ice in there.
I do that thing where you turn the shower all the way cold.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
That's hard.
Sometimes. And I can't even stay there for a half a second.
Yeah. Some showers get colder than others too. I'll answer the food question. So Kenny C18, your top 3 foods, you're going to be working with some Dunkin' Donuts.
Let's just make it clear that it's not like a crappy, like
it's not donuts.
Donut Boston cream. It's like a bacon, egg, and cheese, which is semi-okay.
On what type of bread?
Usually an everything bagel. Okay. Get some seeds.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad for you or not. But
some variation.
Everything, you know what I mean? Yep, something's got to be good for you in there.
Yep. Some sodium, definitely. Some salt in there.
Something.
I'm going to rate that race day
Can
diet.
I guess your rate?
Sure.
4.2.
Yeah, I'd say right in the.
That's fair. That's what I would rate it.
Mid 4s if you're lucky.
That's what I'd rate it.
Could be lower. So, but how old are you?
20. I had to think. about that.
Yeah, 20. My race day diet was also probably in the 4s.
I had to think about that.
So I'll give you some credit. Did you just turn?
Yeah.
When?
August.
I thought you were gonna say today. I think it was Coach Mitchell's birthday today.
Yeah, it is.
We had him on the team call. Forgot to wish him a happy birthday. It was in Slack, which is like our communication for work people. It tells when employees are having birthdays. So I got off the team call after like talking to him for an hour, and saw that was his birthday. I was like, "Whoops." Top 3 foods. Yeah, BT Dubs, happy belated birthday. It might have been yesterday, but I wished him.
No, I think it's today.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Top 3 foods for me, and then you can give me a rating. Pretty standard. We're working with like the Chomps beef sticks, grass fed, high in protein, which is good, easy to get down.
Like the beef jerky stick type of things? Okay.
Yep.
Like healthy Slim Jims.
Yes.
Those are cool.
Yeah, like real healthy.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
And chomp down a few of those bad boys. Light, easy to eat. Even on race day for me, I've been notoriously not hungry.
Yeah.
Because I was always a nervous wreck.
Yeah, same. What's the texture?
It's changed a lot with me. You never had one?
No. Are they spicy?
No.
Are they soft?
Well, you can get spicy ones.
Yeah.
It's nice. I like the texture.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
It's like a sausage.
Huh.
It's got like the encasement. Casing.
And soft on the inside.
And then sorta.
Yeah.
But chewy.
Yeah.
Mill Dogs loves them. She had some steak this afternoon too.
Sorry, no.
Yeah.
All right.
Chomps is a pretty good brand, I think.
Who knows?
There's always some freaking ingredient in there that you find out. So those, I like dried mango, dried fruit, high in sugar, and that's good for like, especially in Supercross, being anaerobic the whole time. Do you know what that means?
High in heart rate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd have an anaerobic threshold where you go from basically like, conversational type of workout to where when you cross over into the high heart rate stuff. And as soon as you get past your anaerobic threshold, essentially like a good way to look at it would be like the clock's a ticking. You only have X amount of time until you are out of everything. Because I think what happens is you start out by burning, and I'm not a professional in this stuff at all, but I try to just know a little bit about it. You start out by burning fat stores and like zero sugars, and then as you get closer to anaerobic threshold, that's when you cross over into like burning 100% sugar, which isn't great, but that's when
you start seeing spots.
You could literally like be like a diabetic or somebody that has low blood sugar, whatever the heck it's called, where you feel like you're gonna just pass out of nowhere. So that's why I remember there was one year, I think it was Faulkner, that was doing like pixie sticks after you get off from Supercross. Do you remember that?
No.
A few years ago.
I know there's a NFL player that does that.
Really?
Marshawn Lynch.
Oh.
Although that
Pixie
might just
sticks?
be. No, he eats like Skittles and stuff.
Yeah. So
There's
Cokes, like Tour de France people, sometimes I think if they're super crazy depleted, would maybe have a Coke.
Yeah.
There's better alternatives, and the alternative that I use is dried mango, which is pretty high in sugar.
Yeah.
So if I get off of a Supercross race, I'll have it
Those
right before I go out.
too.
Maybe if I want a couple bites. Yeah, I think they taste great.
Yeah.
What else?
What do you drink?
Pistachios, water and Element all day, every day, just like I normally would.
Yeah.
On race days, I'm mixing more Element because I'm sweating a lot. If I'm racing like Southwick outdoors and it's hot, I'm mixing a ton of Element, a ton.
When's the last time you even rode that track? So long ago. I gotta get you.
2016, I think. I showed up for the national that year. Have I been there since then? No, I'd love to. I'd love to just show up to an NESC and
dude, I've been trying to get you. Go through our text. Look how many times I said come to NESC, come to NESC.
I know. Next year. I probably said that last year.
You said that. I was gonna say you said that last year.
But next year. The only reason I don't care to be competitive even necessarily, but I want to be able to safely finish a race.
It's fun. Racing is fun.
And I think that right now, I don't know if I'm in good enough shape to make it. Is an A class like 20 minutes and NESC, or have they shortened it? I think it's a little shorter.
I think it might be 15. I could be wrong.
That's what I heard. Yeah, that they shortened them a bit.
It could be. I could be wrong. NESC's.
Is it still as fast as it was? A few years ago, it was freaking real fast.
I could probably name a couple of people that raced NESC, at least a spring series that you would know, like James Harrington.
Yeah. Oh, wicked fast.
Russell Bouchieri.
Yep. I rode with him, I think, one day at 508.
Yeah. The Gas Kid.
I don't remember. I passed him.
Steve,
passed him so fast and see the colors.
Carsnata.
Who?
Steve. I don't know how to say his last name.
Don't know.
CZ or
who else? Josh Clark's fast.
Yeah,
though.
Clark. He did a couple. Brooksy.
Wicked fast.
Yeah. He bought a bike this year.
Yeah, because he was out of it for a while, right?
Yeah. And then he just had a kid, I think.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Cool. I grew up racing with him.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning stages, I don't remember Jason Brooks from when I was on little bikes. I don't remember him on 60s or 85s. I feel like I don't remember Jason Brooks until he came on the scene in like on a Yamaha 252 stroke when we were racing 250Fs, and he was racing it in the 250F class, which felt unfair, but he was so freaking smooth.
Yeah.
He's still got it.
He showed up. It might have been his first race back. It might not have been, but he showed up to Crow Hill in the spring series and just waxed everybody. Both
Not
motos,
surprised.
Pro
He's one
class.
of he's probably one of the best ever from New England. Like, definitely the most underrated.
Yeah, that was so badass.
From New England.
I remember seeing he was so far gone.
Yeah.
And he has MX-23 graphics. It's so cool.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, super smooth. What was he on for a bike?
YZ450.
Oh, YZ450.
Yeah.
Dang. Probably ripping.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about, does like Robbie Marshall still race them ever? No, probably not.
I don't think so. I know
Who else?
Ronnie Stewart was at MX-23. He didn't race in NESC, but he was at MX-23 with a Stark.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
He's fast?
Yeah. He's kind of a legend, right? Kind of older.
He's older than me.
Been around.
I feel like he's been pro forever.
Yeah.
I've been pro forever though too, and I think it's hard to tell. Like, I always thought he was old, but he might not be. He might have been my age the whole time.
Yeah.
But I think he's
yeah.
I think he's a bit older than me.
I just really recognize the name.
Yeah, he always did well in Supercross. He'd have some years where he'd be really slow. He'd have some years where he'd be really fast. But I think that's with any privateer based on your preparation.
Yeah.
Because I was very much the same. I think that's a weird thing about privateers in Supercross and Moto. You'll have guys that you think are going to be good privateer wise, and then they suck one year, and you're like, what? How did this person get just not good all of a sudden? And it's completely based, being as a privateer, like, your budget determines everything. It determines your timeline ahead of time, how much time you can prepare. Like, sometimes there's been years where my bikes were horrible, so people were probably on bad bikes sometimes.
Yeah.
And then they'll show up the next year and be lightning fast out of nowhere, and you're just like, whoa.
Like, your bike gets stuck wide open
Where
for
did
a
this
lap
guy
and a
come
half or
from?
something.
And there's some guys that have been, like Jerry Robin.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. I could go down the list and name so many privateer guys that were like, Austin Politelli.
Yeah.
You know that name?
Yep.
He's so talented on a bike.
He's been pro for a long time.
Yep. And he's had some races.
Just retired.
Chisholm, though, you know what you're going to get, and he's freaking solid every single time, no matter what.
Yeah, he's in the same spot every time.
Every time. It's amazing. That dude it's incredible what he's done. And the fact that, like, he is a consistent main event guy and has been forever.
Was he in his 40s when he retired?
It's got to be 65 to 70 years old.
Something like that.
Easy.
And then there's Phil.
Yeah, and Phil never felt old to me. Chiz has been around for freaking forever. He was Stewart's teammate on San Manuel Yamaha, and, like, I feel like I was in kindergarten at the time. No, he's not that old, but he's late 30s, gotta be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. How about Pierce Brown winning the last race of the year?
Pretty sick.
That was cool.
And then,
I said it all year that dude's gonna win something because he rides so fast.
He's a great rider. Smooth.
He just gets
technique.
terrible starts.
Yeah, he buries himself.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Usually that's a confidence issue.
Yeah.
Not like you're not good at starts. Usually it's just like a weird confidence thing that holds you back. Riding for Star, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
he's
gonna be cool.
Good on that bike,
That's
I imagine.
cool.
And the starts that could be the confidence switch that you would need to get good starts, and then forget about it.
Yeah, you heard Jay say it. Where do you want to go if you want to win a 250 Lights championship?
And then all of a sudden you start getting the starts, being that good of a rider,
Right.
You're a championship guy instantly. He was already close to a championship guy, sort of, right?
Yeah, to win an SMX races.
Yeah, I remember there was one race 2 years ago where he was giving Jet all he could handle in one of the races.
That was 22. You were racing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Yep. All right, getting back to Ethan's topics here.
Nice tangent right
we don't even need him with a Kenny C18 conversation. Just freaking flows.
Going on a tangent.
Rank the top 3 states with the best tracks and the top 3 states with the worst tracks.
Oh, man.
Have you traveled enough to be able to
Have
list
I
these?
even been to 3 states for tracks? Look, I love 508.
Okay.
508 needs to be changed.
What?
That jump
What do you want to see changed about it?
That jump's a liability.
Which one?
That, you know what jump? That triple. That
what,
big triple.
the,
Not the one I crashed on. That's me.
Wait, did you say MX-23 or 508?
508.
Oh, the big triple.
Yeah. That's a liability.
Probably.
Yeah.
I
Too
think
many people.
Has it claimed people?
Oh, dude, I've been there so many times. Because it's one of my closest tracks.
I didn't think anybody's ever really got hurt off it.
Oh, I've been there 4 different people.
Oh,
have
just gotten carted away.
And I don't want to say they don't, because they were super nice to me, like when I got hurt there.
Yeah.
But they kind of just dumped me off at my truck and kind of were like, all right, good luck. You know what I mean? And I've had not the greatest interactions with people at 508.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Which is
but
unfortunate.
you love the vibe at MX-23, right?
I love MX-23, which I think you have the opposite.
No.
Oh, you like MX-23?
I like both for very different reasons.
Yeah. Dan's cool at MX-23.
And MX-23 is technical and tight and totally different feel. 508, I like that it just feels so different. As a fast rider, it does get boring because it's like I'm just going 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's you're flat tracking.
Yeah. 508 could be sick if they like proper watered it deep.
Give it some elevation
tilled
everywhere.
it deep.
Yeah. But that would be
because
expensive.
it slow it down 20 miles an hour, just tilling it super deep. Where MX-23, the feel of the track, it will feel that way. It'll be rutted, sometimes too much, right? Like the back frickin' section is like in a swamp the whole time.
He'll till that once a week.
But it's sick when it's good. Like the last time we went, it was
clean.
Awesome. The track was super good. Was it dry a little bit? No, it was pretty much dialed.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah.
I went there once this year with Ty Lepasier, and when we went that day, it was the best the track had ever been.
So you choose MX-23
over 508
every time if you could?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't know. I feel like it's safer.
I think that's a fair opinion. I think there's a lot of people that love 508.
I raced the 508 NESC too, and that's...
They had an NESC there?
Dude.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Imagine an NESC C-class race there. This, the fall series, they had 2 different C-classes because there was so many people.
It's got potential. They need to rework. It needs some Moto Academy love. Kind of like Winchester.
Yeah.
Needs some Moto Academy love.
Yeah.
I think all these tracks will get it.
New Hampshire.
Little redesign.
Have you been to Sandbox?
Couple cool fun jumps that slow it down. Not like that triple is built wrong is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I jump it every lap no matter what, smooth, but it's like.
But that's because you've been riding for a long time.
I've hit every type of jump you can possibly freaking.
Not everybody that goes to 5. It's a practice track. It's not like if it was like Bud's Creek. If it was a national track, it'd be different.
With a messed up takeoff.
Right, but Larocco's Leap I feel like is different because you know you're going there for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I feel like the demographic at 508 is a little different.
Have you seen people try and jump it that are just like very clearly should not be jumping it?
Yes, I can think of somebody right now that
really
I feel like shouldn't jump it.
Aiden jumped it first lap, I think, on the Stark. That was a bad idea.
That's a bad idea, and he almost killed Josh.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was so pissed at Josh.
I know.
I was like, Aiden, dude, you're on a freaking silent bike.
Yeah.
He can't hear you coming.
Dude, racing a silent bike is a blessing and a curse.
You need a horn.
It's a blessing and a curse because
you can pass guys.
I get my front wheel taken, and it's not their fault. It's my fault.
Yeah.
For not thinking about it.
Yeah, you got to pay.
You have to
have
think
your head
so
on a
much further ahead.
Yep.
Which I guess is good.
Yeah.
Makes you look further ahead.
It'd be worth you getting a horn.
Yeah.
Seriously, like a loud horn.
I just yell. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just yell.
Yeah, but I feel like when you're on they might not hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hear you because you're on the silent bike, but they might not be able to
I'm
hear
in my
you.
helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a horn.
Yeah.
Wire that bad boy in.
You had one for when you
I
first
had one on the Alta. And then we bought horns right away off Amazon when we got the Starks because I was so excited. No, they sucked. They sucked.
Do you understand this stuff in the comments of people hating on Starks where they say put like a 2-stroke noise speaker? What? That doesn't make any sense at all.
People
why like
people are still hating on the Stark, huh?
Dude, yeah. And I would respect like a hate that makes sense, but when like when people say, "Oh, well, it's dumb. It's kind of not. They're too fast for the 450 class." That's fair because they are faster than 450s. But when someone's hating and they say like, "Oh, I still want to hear the two-stroke noise. I would put a speaker on it and play two-stroke noises." Like I've seen so many of those that say like add a speaker.
I should do that just to troll on people.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
I wonder if there's something you attach to the throttle that is realistic.
Put the playing cards in the wheels.
Yeah, just get a freaking loud horn.
Or just don't buy a Stark if you don't want one.
Speaking of buying Starks, mine are for sale.
Yeah,
$9,000, and they still have a year and some change left on the warranty, which is cool. We have the we are giving them back. So the deal with Stark is we get the bikes for the year, we give them back. They're going to give us like even more next year. I think we're getting 5 next year, which is cool. So we'll have a nice little fleet to bring to all the classes and the whole deal.
Yeah.
But we're like, we'll try to sell them first just to help out because those bikes will get sold somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably. Yeah.
So I'm just going to toss them in the marketplace and
Are they going to,
I think Jay Stuck maybe wanted one.
Yeah. He's been DMing me about mine.
Yeah, well, so his thing is he doesn't have the budget, I don't think, to have two bikes. So his big question is like, hey, if I'm gonna make the commitment to just having one bike, like, can that one bike be a Stark?
What's your opinion on that?
I answered him yes.
I don't know how.
And for some people, I would answer no, but I think he gets out infrequently enough. He's got a kid that also rides, I think, when they go to the track. That's a lot of work. So it's like to just have a bike that you don't have to worry about maintenance on. Yeah, but in my message that I sent him back, I was like, but he's on a KTM 2-stroke right now. Like, that's an experience of a ride.
He has that cool gear kit that's got the suit and tie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I have a video of me doing one-hand scrub on his bike that's
a cool bike.
A lot of views. It's a great bike.
Oh, that's hard. That's hard.
So that's why I said, I'm like, you are going to miss that experience.
I love my Stark, and I don't like my 125, but I feel like if I got rid of my 125 or if I didn't have a gas bike, I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. And sometimes when you start riding the Stark more frequently, you'll forget the experience that you're missing, but then you get back on a gas bike and you're like, oh, this is a nice experience. Yeah. But I'm torn. It's like, it is a very practical decision to make, that Stark is.
Yeah.
It never freaking breaks. You don't have to do anything to it. It doesn't get slower when you put 60 hours on it. Yeah. You know, that's a big thing. It's like,
you could run that forever probably.
Big time. And so I like think for myself, if I were to have one bike and one bike only right now, having a child like and lack of time, Stark.
It makes sense for you.
All day long, Stark. Not even
because you could throw it in the truck, lay it on the ground.
I haven't washed it in 4 months. I haven't lubed the chain in the last 20 rides. Not good. Don't do that, folks.
I'm gonna call you out.
It's an O-ring chain.
Still don't wear a chest protector, huh?
Don't wear a chest protector. Don't lube chains. It's an O-ring chain. It's heavy duty. You can handle it. Yeah. I think it's an O-ring chain. Is it?
I know.
50 minutes. I know. Dude, we got to freaking rip and dip through these topics, son.
All right.
Well, we can always save them.
30-second answers for all of them. Back and forth.
And I keep not answering the questions either. Rank the top 3 states with the best tracks and the top 3 states with the worst tracks. All right, off the top of my dome, best tracks and states. You hear that?
Nope.
That wasn't a fart. That was my stomach. That
was my shoulder.
Okay, I'll start with worst tracks. This is tough. I feel bad throwing states under the bus.
Yeah. Are you going specifics or just state?
I can't name states for the worst.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't do it.
I haven't even been to 3, I don't think.
Top 3 best states. Dude, this is an impossible answer.
New York. Unadilla.
Minnesota. Missouri. What's another state up in there? Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri. The cool top tracks. 3 states. Not necessarily the coolest tracks. There are some good tracks there, but just the dirt is so freaking good no matter which track you go to.
Like
it feels.
Bro, kind of.
What?
Like Bro, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but almost consistently better. Bro is good, but if it gets dry, it turns into river silt because it is kind of like river silt.
Yeah.
where something about like the Midwest region, but even like not Ohio necessarily, but Missouri, Michigan, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. And there's some that come to mind for the worst, but not going to name them. Not going to name them. Skip this fourth one. Ethan, podcast questions. Ready for some podcast questions? From Shake and Blake.
Here we go.
We're going to start with the Shake and Blake one. If you guys want to ask
Blake.
podcast questions, get inside of the app, for gosh sakes. Subscribe to Moto Academy 2.0. Get in the app. Post a question. Use the hashtag podcast questions. And we will answer. And maybe Kenny C18 will answer. Hey, AJ. Finally talked my parents into letting me start a YouTube channel.
Start it.
Shout out. I was wondering if you or anyone in TMA has any advice on how to get started. From Shake and Blake.
Post every day. Multiple times.
That is good advice. Even on a YouTube channel? So like shorts it up?
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do.
Okay. So you don't do that?
No.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah. I just posted a video of me playing guitar on it.
You did?
Yeah.
And how often are you posting on your YouTube channel?
Once every couple months, maybe.
That's not going to do it, folks.
I have one on there that's got like 32,000 views.
What is it? GoPro video?
No, it's raw iPhone clips of me on my 125, like right when I got it.
What's the title?
Raw Husky 125.
That'll do it.
Yeah. And it's a minute long.
What's
like
the
a
thumbnail?
Minute. Me going through a puddle with my wheel in the air. That's a cool
nice.
That's a cool picture. Is that your dad?
Yeah. You've never seen that?
No.
Yeah.
That's a cool picture.
That's in my backyard. Did you ever see the hot rod shoot where I jumped the pool as hot rod?
Gotta unlock those hips.
Let me show this. No, we don't say unlock those hips when you see anything. You know that. We don't say that anymore. Toot that thing up at best, or anterior pelvic tilt.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've preached that before. The post and anterior pelvic tilt. Yeah.
So here we go. This is me jumping my dad. If you guys can see it, let me get you into focus here. Kenny C18 was referencing just a little roll to the hip. So Kenny C18, if this was in hashtag coaching wanted, what do you what advice are you giving me here?
I'm gonna toot that thing up.
Okay. How?
Stick that butt out. Pinch your shoulder blades.
Okay.
Put your head. I guess your head is in an okay spot. It could go forward a little more.
Definitely go forward. You want to know?
Even if it looks like you're gonna hit your dad. So.
Well, you want to know the secret?
He wasn't actually.
He's to the right of me.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But it's cool photo.
Looks cool.
The freaking old
what is that?
Magazine, the mustache, the short shorts with the high whites. This picture is sick. And we did a black and white version, just trying to figure out like how to frame it and make it look cool. So my advice would be head needs to be here, which would create less bend in the knee. So you should have a straighter knee at that point in your jump, folks. Which will bring your butt a little further away from your seat, which will allow your hips to go posterior, which is like this. Okay, good spot.
So why don't we say unlock those hips anymore? Is
this
that?
Could almost be a print that like is. That's kind of a cool photo that if you do it right, like that's a cool print.
Yeah.
You know,
you could
hang that.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Why don't we say unlock those hips anymore?
Because it's not technically correct.
Yeah.
It's like it's just an inaccurate way of describing what it actually is. Mm-hmm. I think that for some people it was helpful and like they were able to maybe understand what that meant. Right. But I think a lot of people had no idea what that meant, and it's technically incorrect. So
made sense to me.
And that's fair. So I just say anterior and compare it to posterior, but that means nothing to most people, right? So then I use the analogy of the is it an analogy or metaphor?
Dog tail.
Of the dog tail. Yeah. And I feel like that creates a good visual because dog with his tail tucked in between his legs and scared is that back rolled, hunched, and then yanking the dog's tail back and butt sticking out, kind of back arching. Yeah. Does that create a visual for you, or does that not
also
do it?
works? That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, they both work for me.
Yep. But I like to use the proper. I got called out by like a doctor or a chiropractor, and he just nicely explained like, "Hey, this is," cool. And then once I got that information from him, I asked a couple of other educated people, and they were like, "Yeah,
that's cool."
Yeah. So just trying to be accurate with it, you know.
That's fair, dude.
Okay, advice for Shake and Blake. Back to it.
Post every day. I said that.
Yeah, post every day. Okay, so
shorts. Post the same video in a different way. If it doesn't work.
Yep. Change small things. Experiment. So like Ezra's been doing that. I think Ethan gave Ezra some advice on YouTube. It was either a thumbnail or title suggestion, and all of a sudden just the same video, but it just popped off.
Right.
Yep. And sometimes that's all it takes. My advice would be, just for simplicity's sake, get a GoPro or an Insta360 and just do first person riding footage.
Throw it on every time you ride.
Intro it. It's kind of how Jeff Walker made his whole freaking channel.
Tim Geiser wears a GoPro, I think, every time he gets on a dirt bike.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Does he have a YouTube channel?
I don't think so. I think he does it for himself.
Oh, interesting.
He might have a YouTube channel.
Did you just make that up?
No. You look at even Motocross of Nations, he's got the...
Really? On the top of his helmet?
Yeah. He's got it sticking up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think you could do that.
Yeah. FIM, it's fine. AMA, you can't. But
interesting.
Yeah, okay. FIM.
Yeah, so Shake and Blake film. Hey, guys, Shake and Blake, I'm here at Super Coupe practicing corners for the day. Boom. 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever.
And then
riding
if you can...
Crashed 16 times for some reason, having a rough day.
And add a video of you crashing, if you got one.
Gonna get him next time. See you guys. Toodles. Don't steal the toodles. Come up with your
Shake
own
and Blake can use the toodles.
Shake and Blake, I give you permission.
Nobody
to use
else
toodles.
can use the
Nobody
toodles.
else. Shake and Blake, if you want it, run with it.
Okay.
It's not working super well, but hey, it might work better for you.
Yeah. Like I said, little things.
And do that consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And the video that you least expect will get 1 million views for no reason at all. The video that you think is amazing will get 20 views for no reason, and you won't be able to explain it. But yeah, think about starting it at a young age like that and being consistent for 10 years or 20 years. You could be the most boring person and the worst rider of all time, and it doesn't matter. People are going to invest in the character and want to follow the journey of it.
Consistency is key.
Consistency. Yeah. And it is so much easier said than done. That's why I started by hiring people into that position. Then I hired people in more manager roles after the fact. Mm-hmm. Social media for me was number one. Is pretty early recognized that, right? Yeah. Like I think I recognized that, I don't know, 2015.
You had the Patreon going maybe, early, right?
2016. Yeah, when was Patreon days? It still took me a while to kind of have enough confidence and belief in myself to put myself out there and not feel embarrassed posting certain things. And because that's what it takes sometimes to post consistently.
Yeah. If
you're too judgmental about what you're filming and what you're editing and looking at and being willing to put out there, you're just never going to put stuff out there.
Right.
So it's like just
I think that's what the issue is with me. I feel like I want to get the best couple things and put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to just.
Yep. Yeah. And then also be critical of like when you're editing it and try to make it short and digestible, but also don't be afraid of, sometimes I watch back my stuff and I think everything's boring and no one would want to watch it. And that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
I'm like hyper analytical of, it's like shorter. Yeah. Just make it quick, punchy.
Right.
If I'm talking for, 7 minutes explaining how to do a certain thing, I feel like it's
the blanks in your words. So it's
I feel like it's too much. Yeah. Although I fire on all syllables, I don't really have much blanks in the words. It's funny. Ethan was so impressed the first time we filmed together. He was just like, dude, you get it first take every single time. And I'm like, I know, it takes practice. The reading pays off. Shake and Blake. Yeah, do it. I'm pumped. That's cool.
Yeah.
And there's so many people in the app also that are kind of trying to pave their way and follow some of our tips and guidance. What?
There's so much help in the app too for that.
Totally.
So many people in there.
And it's a bunch of people like that believe in each other as well, which is helpful to be surrounded by that.
Right. And the group of subscribers you get from the Moto Academy is enough to give your account that first kick where the algorithm shifts it in a second to.
Yeah, because like the first 100 subscribers, like think about how hard that is for some people. And like in the Moto Academy, you post that you have a channel and it's like, oh, you're going to
get 20, 30 from the Moto Academy in a couple weeks.
Easily. And partying it up.
Yeah, I was just
celebrating.
Like
she's almost won now. So shout out Shake and Blake. We got a question from Brian Radomir. Brian Latimer.
The fisherman.
Fisherman. What?
Hey AJ, this is what I'd like to talk about. Of course, I have a son motocross. I would be curious to know what you'd want to do with your child if they were in motocross as far as time on the bike per week goes. I feel like once you cross that 10-year-old mark, especially when you get to 12, 14, you're a true athlete. You're expending a lot of energy on the bike, and I'd be curious to know what you think the appropriate time for practice is per week, without burning yourself out and make yourself susceptible to injury. I don't want to say I try to control my son's bike time or even how much he eats. I try to make sure he's eating enough and try to guide what he eats. You know, you only have so much control. But I don't like to see much more than 3 2-hour sessions a week. I don't mean 2 hours on the bike, but 2 hours training sessions, just to give his body time to rehabilitate. I'd be curious to know what you think the appropriate time on the bike is per week.
That's you.
Great question.
I mean, I have an opinion of someone that's never trained or done anything.
Love that family. I'll answer it first, and then you can give your opinion afterward. Professional fisherman.
Yeah.
In the Moto Academy app.
Yeah.
Awesome. He has his own platform and community too for fishermen, I believe, which is awesome.
That's what I was thinking about at work today. Not to cut you off, but
creating a platform for fishermen.
And no, well, like you having these little ties with people that are in different worlds, just bring communities and grow both of your communities together. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
it's
now you have
so cool.
Fishermen that now see dirt bikes and dirt bike people that now see fishermen stuff.
Yep. And there's always crossover, even when you least expect it. And for the people that are in that crossover, like it doesn't get any cooler.
Yeah. I feel like there's so much opportunity in that.
For a fisherman that rides motocross or vice versa.
Right.
We wanted to do like a collaboration with Malcolm Stewart.
Yeah. He fishes. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and us together in some way. That's interesting. And at that age, let's say 12 to 14, 10 to 14 age range. Ooh, I could debate somebody in this all day long, and you could keep changing my mind over and over and over, because that's tricky. I think that, so what do you say? 2-hour ride days per week. That's not 2 hours, hour time on the bike. That's just 2-hour sessions. I'd say a 10 to 14-year-old could handle more than that easily, but physically.
Yeah.
But I think a 10 to 14-year-old could handle 2-hour hour meter on the bike sessions 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 days a week physically.
Because they're just at.
Oh, you just have, at least me, I can speak for myself.
Energy.
I never ran out of energy ever. And I was physically pretty fit, strong at that age too. Everybody's different. Mentally, totally different story. I am very much a believer of the long game. I think right now you see the Deegan model, which I bet you was more chill and paced than maybe people think it was. I bet you, well, maybe not. I need to ask, and maybe he's done interviews before, but I'd like to ask those questions of like, okay, when Hayden was 5 years old to 13 years old, 5 years old to 12 years old, like in those age ranges, how many days a week was he riding? How many hours per day was he riding?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be very curious.
Yeah.
You can accomplish a lot in a short amount of time. And avoiding burnout is the biggest thing. You want the kid to be motivated. Even with Millie, and this is tricky because I don't want to have an opinion either way on whether she rides or not. Yeah. I don't want to say, no, I don't want her to do it, but I also don't want to lean towards wanting her to do it.
Right. You want it to be their decision.
I don't try to hide the bike. There's a bike.
Right. Obviously.
There's a bike
There's
up
no
there.
point in hiding what you do.
I don't want to hide it, but I also don't want to throw it, in front of her face. So it kind of just sits in the corner of the room. It's an option.
Yeah.
She's got the guitar.
Yep.
She's got a little jungle gym. She's got like a ball pit that she can play in. Mm-hmm. Xylophone, is it? What's this?
Yeah. Xylophone.
What else? She's got a little keyboard, piano. Okay. So she's got her options.
She'll be like me, music and dirt bikes.
Yeah. Hopefully.
That's perfect.
No, I don't want to say this. Music. I want music.
Music's great.
I like nothing more than music.
Because music you can have as a hobby on top of something else.
Yeah. I think for me, I think that riding a motorcycle and racing is an extremely pure form of like creativity and competition, like very, very raw, pure form of it, which is most of its appeal to me. Music, I feel like, is the potentially like the purest, rawest form of creativity that exists.
It comes literally from your brain.
Oh yeah. So whether it's playing an instrument or singing, I think it's like a magical thing to do. So I would love if that's what she loves.
Yeah.
Anyhow, back to that question. Brian, I think you're doing the right thing, but you could convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
I think he could ride more I think he could probably ride more than
if
that
he wanted
a little
to.
bit. Yeah. Maybe start with that as a baseline and then let the kid say, hey, if the kid wants one more day, then give him one more day.
Yeah, if I was a 13-year-old kid.
As long as the riding is intentional.
Right.
Right? Because there are times when you see kids or people for sure go out there and then like they're clearly toast and just checked out and just spinning laps just to spin laps. And it's like, that's not counting for anything. It's actually just getting more dangerous every second that you're out there.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a 14-year-old kid that, was racing dirt bikes, I would be doing it because it was fun. This is just if it was me, but I would be doing it because it was fun. And the minute it started to feel like the work I was doing wasn't good enough for something, like the minute I started feeling like I'm doing the most I can and I still can't do enough, that's when it starts to become not fun. And I feel like that's where you get in that internal battle of, okay, well, do I need to try harder? Is this just really how good I am?
When I was, let's say 12 years old, I would have been on a 65 maybe still and an 85. I was still going to public school. I was living in Connecticut. I was riding 3 days a week and racing Saturday and Sunday sometimes. So It was 4 to 5 days a week on the bike between practice and racing after school. So probably 2 hour to 3 hour sessions. I don't know how much actual, hour meter time that was. And I, at that age, wanted more. I wasn't burnt out.
It was fun to you.
Burning out wasn't on my radar. I wanted to keep doing more of it.
Right.
So, and I was physically fit enough to be doing that much. In fact, I could have been physically doing more.
I feel like that's when you learn, is when you're having fun too.
Yeah. So
where it's hard and it's work, I feel like that's the best place to learn, is when it's fun work. It's the best place to learn.
Yeah. So that's a tricky one.
And that's a hard balance to keep. You need the good balance between fun and work.
Yeah.
Because you get different things out of both of them that add to this one compound thing that is your riding. And it's
so hard trying to answer that question now being a parent, because
you could feel like a hypocrite in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It could be coming out of your mouth, I'm sure.
Literally, that's how I feel. It's like the more I learn philosophically, and now that I have a child, it feels like I don't know anything, and I don't even know sometimes where my baseline should be.
Like you were saying before, when you move up to the A class, you feel like
it's like, no, we're doing this, and I'm like, oh no, that's wrong. Like let's do this, and I'm like, well, she can choose, and then it's like, well, at what point is there going to be parenting involved, and like versus, I think about this slightly off topic, but just her causing a scene, right? We believe currently in not ever shushing her. Like if she wants to sing, she doesn't know where we are. Right? She doesn't know if we're in a restaurant or on a plane. Like, let her have fun. I'm not going to try to quiet her down and get stressed out about it. But is there a certain age at which the child needs to understand that you're in a social environment and you have to kind of have respect for other people? And what age is that? And where are the boundaries with that?
And that's hard, because it's up to, I'm sure every single person listening to this has a different opinion on that. And that's the thing about that, is there is no right answer.
I want to cultivate creativity, but I also want to cultivate empathy and like respect for others.
Right.
And
dude, I feel like, again, I'm 20 years old. I have no clue about anything, I'm sure. But I feel like if you even have these thoughts, like I can see you right now, just the care coming from you, like thinking about.
If you even have those thoughts, you're light years ahead of most people, and you're in a very good spot.
Because you have the intention,
especially at 20,
which is what you talk about, is having the intention.
Mm-hmm.
And with you, with Millie, I feel like just you thinking about all these things, and I can only imagine what goes on inside your head about that little girl's life.
Yeah. And you know what's helpful?
Which makes me feel like that she's going to be fine.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you guys really care.
Yeah. It's still tricky though.
Yeah, of course.
I have established over the last few years core values. And having core values is like the foundation. It allows you to kind of first principles it back to the foundation and give you a direction to then point. Without core values, it's easy to really get mixed up and never find a solid ground. Yeah. Which brings me to editors know, Ethan, there are, especially from these topics from IG poll and these other podcast questions that we didn't get to yet, save them, leave them for me for episode 113.
Which I'll come back for.
Which we'll have to get Kenny C18 back for.
I should change my number to Kenny C113.
Yeah.
I just feel like Kenny C18. I wrote like Kenny C18 in the card. Like,
yeah. Now it's just, I'll never remember to call you something different now. Yeah, so you're
that's why I haven't
you're locked
in. Whatever.
Allie asked, how can you be more confident and not let people in your head?
Like Allie?
No, it's IE. So it's unless he spelled it wrong. I don't think it's from that Allie. I think it might be from Allie inside of the app.
Gotcha.
That writes a KTM. Do you know who that Allie is?
I don't.
Last name starts with the C.
Yeah, is she from around here?
No, she's from. No, really, no. She's from like Washington.
Or
Oregon, somewhere Pacific Northwest. She was at Sunset Ridge Summer Camp. You've probably seen her in videos a bunch.
I remember someone from 508 when we were doing the private lesson.
Where else has she been? No, you wouldn't have seen her anywhere except for online. How can you be more confident and not let people in your head?
Take things less seriously.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Which is easier said than done, but.
Yep. Take yourself less seriously is good advice too. And I guess what somebody would mean by that is you don't have to define yourself and then try to live within the rigidity of that definition of whatever you say that you are, right? So it'll make you be easier on yourself and lighter around others. I think people that take themselves too seriously are like, they just have huge egos, not necessarily in like the arrogant way, right? But they're so wrapped in their identity.
They have an image that they really want you to have of them.
Yeah.
And
that they need to have for themselves,
right,
as well. And the open-mindedness to not take yourself as seriously allows you to just be fluid within the identity and change.
Yeah.
Right. So, which you have such a head start. I mean, I took myself super serious until a few years ago.
It's crazy because I feel like I'm super in my head too.
Again, there's a point of diminishing returns where you can be too in your head.
Yeah.
But having the awareness to question is a good starting point. If you get stuck in a cyclical pattern of always questioning and never coming
I question if I'm questioning too much, and then it turns into a cycle pattern and I just spiral.
You schizophrenic?
Might be. Is Jackson over there?
How to be more confident and not let people in your head. What's another good response to this? I think maybe also take people's advice with a grain of salt. Now, it's important to listen with an open mind to everybody. Family members, strangers, friends, coworkers, you name it. But if you live and die by what every single person says, then that's shaky territory. Even sometimes your parents or relatives, because people will tell you something or question something that you're doing, thinking that they're doing the right thing for you and trying to protect you, and yet it's a subconscious, selfish behavior on the parents' end or the relatives' end.
It's never in harm. It's
never intentionally malicious, but it's a subconscious.
It's a reaction,
protection mechanism, which will hurt you if you listen to them. if this is the Allie I'm thinking of, she has an amazing family around her. So she's got a huge head start in that. Yeah, questioning is a good thing to do. So, and being open-minded is just such a big one. Having the awareness to know that like what people are saying doesn't mean that it's the truth. If you buy into their stories, it's easy to attach that to your identity, and then it's easy for people to talk you out of things.
Yeah. And you're easily persuadable, and then that goes back to what you're saying.
Hey, I got a good idea.
Core value.
No, that idea sucks. Oh yeah, you're right.
And yeah, that goes back.
There
to
goes
the
thing
values
that you were born to do.
Yeah, all that work you did for 9 years on that project or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
Or just the thing that intuitively, like
someone that has a effect on the way you feel says something about it, and now it's out the window.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's in being a parent, my ultimate goal is to like guide her towards the thing that she feels she is meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I'm trying to like guide her towards that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Which is just letting her be her.
What?
Which would just be letting her be her.
Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Kenny C18, we overshot it by 18 minutes. Shout out Kenny C18. 18-minute overshoot, but that's okay. By the way, we've got tour dates. Go to themotoacademy.com. Guess what we just did today? Did you see it?
No.
We announced summer camp. Are you going?
That's pretty steep.
For free.
Really?
Yep. Can you take a week off of work?
Oof. Yeah. What? It's next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll book it right
for free.
On the New Year.
A week off. You're going to be there.
Sure.
Okay.
Can I bring my dad?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
No, your dad's got to stay home.
All right. I will leave him home. He just tore his ACL again.
He did?
Yeah. At 508. We went back to 508 for my first riding day back after crashing at 508.
Yeah.
And he tore his ACL right in front of me.
Yeah. Crashing or dabbing it?
Dabbing it. He's been I've been trying to get him to do on the stand in the garage for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to stop.
On the Stark?
Just on the stand.
No, but did he do it on the Stark?
Oh, no. He was riding my 125.
July 14th to July 18th. Winchester Speed Park, motocross and supercross track. We're going to be spending time on both Monday through Friday.
Shout out Ty Lepp is here.
It's going to be sick. Ty will be there.
Ty will be there.
Us. It's going to be freaking awesome.
All right.
We just announced it today. People are already signing up. Kenny C18 will be there.
I guess I'll be there.
Episode 112. We've done it. Shout out Moto Academy community. You guys are amazing. Toodles.